Hi everyone, and welcome to the third in the series of the LSN's Ask the Expert videos. I'm Anita Wallace, Chair of the Lymphedema Support Network, and I'm delighted today to introduce you to the LSN's nurse advisor, Denise Hardy, who runs a very busy practice in Kendal, and she's very, very experienced. So I'm delighted that she's agreed to come on with us, and we'll get going on the questions. The next question is it always best to have an initial round of bandaging before you start wearing compression to try and get the best shape and move the fluid?
I would like to say yes, but in reality, I don't think that happens at the moment in that many clinics. I mean, again, for me at the moment, because of COVID, our clinic was lucky enough to keep going throughout the pandemic. But now we are absolutely inundated with patients. And therefore, if I were to say, yes, I'm going to bandage everybody, I'd have a waiting list as long as my arm. So, but if you look at the research, yes, it does help to be bandaged. It does help to be assessed, to have a course of 2 or 3 weeks of bandaging, plus all the other aspects of care. I like it, Anita, because it educates our patients if we can do this. If we can bandage and educate patients at the same time, they get a real understanding of what lymphedema is and what they can do about it. Whereas if I see somebody and put them straight into a garment, I'm not able to do that so quickly.
No.
So yes, it is helpful. It does help to reshape the limb. It does help to get as much fluid out of that limb as possible. We call it decongesting the limb, decongestive lymphatic therapy. That's what it is. It's bandaging plus lymph drainage plus exercise plus skin care and the lymph drainage massage. But it's not, unfortunately, available for all at the moment. So a lot of patients are put straight into a garment. Yeah. But that doesn't mean to say it doesn't work, because it does. A compression garment works just like compression in a form of bandage. It's just not as quick. You will get a reduction, but then you will have to replace that garment much more quickly. The benefit of a bandage is that you will get the limb to be the best shape and size you can over that period of time. Whereas a compression garment, it doesn't really address that in the same way, but it will help reduce the swelling. It will help to stop it getting any worse. It will help to engage with the patient. It will help the patient to sort of come to terms with that condition. But it's not the best option if you have got a very, very severe lymphedema. However, they work alone. Garments do work alone. And also, of course, at the moment, the clinics, it's so much reliant on funding. A lot of clinics can't bandage because they don't have the funding for it. They don't have the staffing. Unfortunately for me, I didn't lose a member of staff to COVID itself, but to long COVID. So I'm having to replace some of my staff, and they don't learn to bandage overnight. So training of our staff is really difficult. Takes a long time for somebody to learn how to do that. Whereas, applying a compression garment is much easier. One can learn to do that much better. So staffing, funding and resources come to play in this just as much as, the benefits of doing it. So all those things come into play. But I do say, yes, a bandage first would be helpful if you've got a severe lymphedema. But not everybody has. And these days, because of the promotion of lymphedema in, for example, breast cancer clinics, gynae clinics, cancer clinics, people are referred a lot earlier. And as a result, they don't need bandaging.
You don't actually need the bandaging. No.
Exactly. So if you have a mild lymphedema, you can be put straight into a compression garment, and that will work brilliantly. And we can teach you to do lymph drainage if necessary. We can talk about skin care and exercise, and you will get the components of self-management. So unless you have a severe lymphedema coming through my door at the moment, you won't get bandaging.
No.
But if you have, then we will be doing that and decongesting the limb as well as we possibly can before we do fit them.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Denise.